Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Cat's Track. I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, Dave Taylor, on today's episode. Dave was born in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, and moved to Calgary in 2002 at 17 years old. So glad that he chose our city. He is engaged to be married in July 2021 and is a proud stepdad of two boys, ages 5 and 3, a very busy home. Besides Dave's family, he is super pumped for hockey. He has a group of close friends who he's played hockey with for over 10 years, and it's his number one passion. He also loves his work and loves volunteering and has been for 6 years for Adopt a Family program. Such a good human. You will find his professional bio attached. Dave, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. May we start with the first question that we sent your way?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. What has been your biggest challenge in the last 2 months?
I think every day comes with a new challenge, but most of us see these challenges as opportunity. So we're trying not to feel it in the same way that we should, I think, at certain times. But for us, the challenges come from our clients. Owning a marketing company, we see a lot of different challenges from a lot of different clients. Some clients are in full shutdown mode. We got that call very quickly that the doors had closed and that the advertising campaigns needed to stop. And we were very lucky that we work very closely with them. So it's very easy to pause campaigns and help understand what the next direction is. In terms of business on our side, in-front marketing saw a major loss of revenue, but we also saw opportunity in this to do things that we hadn't always thought about doing. So we reached out to our community. We talk with our partners every day to figure out what they're doing, how we can support them, how we can support other businesses who are feeling the challenge just like we are, and how we can help them share their message and find different ways to open a window to their business now that the doors are closed. But yeah, I would say it's a very different challenge now, than the typical business challenges of just finding customers. It's the customers are there, but how do you actually talk to them is becoming the real challenge right now.
I bet. I can't imagine. And just a shout out for Dave, everybody. Oh my gosh, he and his team have been so amazing. When I was introduced to Dave just recently, we became friends, and I feel so fortunate. He saw the vision in Cat's Track and being able to get some positive messages out to our community. He heard the amount of people that I've been in contact with that have lost hope and are hurting, and he wanted to join and partner and support and get this message out. So it's because of him and Tom Watts, who you'll hear from in the future episode. It's because of them that this is happening, and we're all extremely grateful. So thank you, Dave.
And we're grateful to you as well, Catherine. I mean, we saw the vision that you had immediately when you and I connected. There's a real message here that needs to come from people in the community about what they're doing to support others. The support is there. I've said this time and time again in the marketing community that we have skills that are easily transferable, whether there's an invoice attached or not, that we can communicate with people and share the things that we can do and help businesses get back on track. And really, it's about asking for help. Business owners are shy to share what the issues are in their business right now. They're underwater and they're trying to get themselves above water, and they're trying to do it on their own, and they're feeling the pressure. And I've mentioned this time and time again to people that we know in the community that as marketers, people who are freelancing, photographers, videographers, content writers, now's the time to leverage the skills that we've built to share that with our community and just find ways that we can keep the community connected and support growth and give people a bit of a lifeline right now that it'll come back. It'll come back, whether it's we're supporting you or you're just looking for support. The business is there. Customers are still there. We just need to really find a way to connect, not just with ourselves, but with our community and with our clients. It's just different now. So we love what you're doing, and I've been very fortunate to see some of the content that's been produced and coming to the community of Cat's Track, and I'm super excited for everybody to see it because it's been fantastic from this viewpoint so far.
Thank you, Dave. Well, thanks for being. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm honored that you joined us.
Thank you.
So there's a few things I'd like to discuss with you, and I'm always wondering with all of our amazing entrepreneurs in Calgary, where did it start? Like why did you start your business? Where did that come from inside you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. We actually just had this conversation. My business partner John and I talked a little bit about, the history of in front marketing and our personal history, and I come from a background of entrepreneurs or semi entrepreneurial people. My great grandfather was an auctioneer in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, and that was a big part of his work in the community. But it was very much something that he had started on his own and done by himself, and grew a pretty big organization. My grandfather was a real estate agent, very much working on his own. My uncle's very high up in the banking industry. My dad was a member of parliament for 12 years and an MLA for 9. Currently on city council in his mid 60s.
Wow.
So there's a drive there, and I truly believe that the entrepreneurial spirit is just built in people. I, in my teen years, at one point decided that I would own an advertising company, and I didn't know why. I didn't know where that came from. I don't know how that dream comes to somebody in school or in high school, because it's not something that people talk about or think about. It's not the typical doctor, police officer, firefighter direction, but it was in me. And in my early 20s, I had this idea that I was going to start a company called the Marketing Guys, and I didn't know anything about marketing at that point in time. Wasn't going to school for marketing, had no direction outside of just trying to establish myself, living on my own, and growing my own understanding of who I was. And yeah, I think it just came from seeing clients struggle to really understand digital advertising. I was working in advertising for about 6 years before I started in front marketing. And in digital, everybody that's ever run an ad campaign will tell you, the corporations sell it as somebody sees your ad, somebody clicks on your ad, and that's it. That's the data that you get. And it was so insignificant. Time after time, my clients told me, how do I how do I justify this? How do I know if there's an impact to my business? How do I know if I'm selling anything? How do I know if people are engaged? How long is it going to take? What is the metric? What is it? What's the value? And I kind of told them it's a process. Everything takes time. You turn on advertising, and it takes time, and we'll work together to figure out what the end result is and what the ROI is. But you have no way to prove it in a lot of different organizations. And so I left. Just over 5 years ago, I left a corporate job in advertising, and I said, there's got to be a better way to connect people to data and to take a data centric approach to advertising. And my business partner, John, was at that point director of online operations for a major media outlet for all of Western Canada, and was connected to some major partnerships in both Canada and in the US that had opportunity to really help us understand data. And he connected me to a few people. Growing an agency is hard. It's something that you can't do very easily without money backing you. And of course, we didn't take an investment, we didn't take a loan. We just found some partners of ways that we could buy media. And when you think about buying media, these agencies have minimum spends that you have to reach to become a partner, and it might be in that $250,000, $500,000 annually that you have to invest on these platforms, and just to have access to them. And we were fortunate that we found one in the US that kind of gave us a chance with a low spend. We had a couple clients in our back pocket that knew us and knew the goals that we had as a company, and that we wanted to do some testing in the market and help them understand data. And so we started working with this company in the US. I was working full time, waiting tables at Moxie's, just trying to put money in my own bank account and pay the rent. Every dollar that went into the business stayed in the business for 2 years. And we got to a point where we were finally able to pay ourselves a little bit and quit our full time jobs and make in front marketing a real thing. And but at the same time, we were getting killed on the US dollar.
Yeah.
So and we were using US data, which is okay because it's smart data. But after a couple of years, we found a great Canadian partner, and now we have 7 or 8 different partners across Canada. We are first party Canadian data, obviously on the Canadian dollar. So our margins are healthy. It allows us to keep our costs down to our customer. Catherine, you know this, but a lot of people don't know. In front marketing is very different. We don't work with a retainer. Everything is based on the campaigns. We're very flexible when it comes to the way our clients are spending money, and we generally just want to find a way to deliver them a return and be able to track a customer from the ad that they've seen, what's their level of engagement, and then what did they purchase, or how did they purchase, or how do we stay top of mind with them. And our partnerships allow us to do that in a way that we didn't have access to working in the corporate world. So, I mean, the question of how does this all happen for an entrepreneur? Some of it's built into you, some of it's dumb luck, and a ton of it is risk. And you just have to be willing to jump off the cliff. And I think we were. And at the same time, our safety net was the ability to work another job and work from 8 or 9 in the morning until midnight sometimes, and balance.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just becomes a part of what you do, and the end goal is freedom.
I hear you. And through this, what you shared with us, I can actually now see why I'm already knowing how different you are from all the other marketing agencies that I know. You've always led with giving with pure intention first, and now you've shared how you're so different than many others, and not knocking anybody else. There are lots of good friends of mine out there that are doing some work too. You just seem to have an edge, and there's some really cool differentiators that I think I heard just from what you just said. And if there's anything else that you'd like to share to make sure that everybody knows what it is that makes you so different, that I could feel from the beginning.
Yeah, I think what truly makes us different is that we aren't, I mean, we look through the eyes of the business owner, and I think that's really important. We work with agencies, we work with other marketers. We grew our agency very differently. We don't have a ton of staff, and we do that by purpose. We support other people in the marketing community to accomplish tasks that we can't instead of hiring a body. We find that marketing agencies are very quick to lay off staff, or clients get a little sour because they might get stuck with somebody who is newer into the marketing community, where they thought they might, you get sold by the heavy hitter or the founders of the organization or somebody high up, and then you get kind of stuck with somebody who doesn't always know as much as they should. And then when you have questions, you're going through layers and layers of people to get answers. So again, living in a corporate world, we just saw that there was opportunity to grow a little differently. So, Tom Watts, who I believe you're going to interview, is a great partner of ours. He's extremely skilled in web design and SEO, and he does things we can't do. And we rely on him and the strength of his business to accomplish a task for our clients that we don't have. So, what makes us truly different is that he's one of many partners that we have, and all of these partners bring a different skill set to a different client. So when we sit down with our clients, it's about understanding who they are, what their goals are, what the foundation of their business is, and whether or not they need web design or social media marketing, or just a strong sense of what Google can do for them, or how to collect data on their audience, and then how to utilize that data in smart ad campaigns is really where we come to play. And I love to talk about the ability to target people based on the device that's in their hand all the day, every day, and the data that they have access to, because most business owners don't realize that they have access to a ton of data on their audience and they're not plugging into it.
Yeah.
So, it's not just about building these relationships and these partnerships, but it's helping them understand, what does this device look like? My phone knows my age, it knows my income, it knows what I do for work. It knows I have kids and dogs and ride a motorcycle and play hockey. And then it understands my buying habits, whether it be trying to buy a home, a car, a pair of shoes, a watch, whatever it is. And we all know this. You spend time consuming content online, and all of a sudden the ads become very relevant to your behavior. And most business owners don't understand how to utilize this for their own benefit or for their own business, or how to stay top of mind with their customers when
Yeah.
they're shopping with other competitors.
Yeah.
So it's really about helping them understand that foundation and then build on that and then utilize the data that's available to them to be really smart in who they're targeting and how they're communicating with their audience. That's where we believe that we become very different than most agencies. And I agree with you. There's a ton of great agencies out there, and we work directly with a lot of them. A lot of them need help to grow the digital side of their business, and that's where we plug in. And at the same time, so do business owners. So we play a little of wear a couple different hats. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. I've seen you do it already. So congrats to you.
There we go. Thank you.
Another question I have always for successful entrepreneurs and business leaders is, where do you see this going for you? And I know it's a tough question right now with the current landscape, but let's remove that just for one moment. Yes, we're going through some interesting times. Where do you see you landing at the other side of this? And let's say not just, 3 months from now, a year and a half from now, where do you see your business and how do you see yourself serving the community at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, I see a ton of growth opportunities. Although we've taken a step back in terms of business and in terms of financial impact to our business, I think everybody is feeling the same pressure. However, it's those partnerships and those conversations with our community that are showing growth for us. The ability to walk into a conversation and offer a service of value and not monetize that in a time like this is super important. And it's shown us opportunity to connect to a larger network, to connect to more people, to find people in the community of either business or marketing who are doing really good things and just need some help. So although I feel like everything got put on hold, we might actually see some amazing growth opportunities out of this that we maybe wouldn't have seen. 2020 was supposed to be the best year ever. It was supposed to be not only the best year for us, but for our clients. We heard from everybody. It was going to be a good year. We saw it. We saw consumers and customers opening up their wallets a little bit easier, spending more money a little bit easier, just feeling comfortable spending and coming out of the recession that we've gone through and making bigger purchases and even the housing market turning around and car dealerships doing well and just everybody. We found that 2020 was supposed to be this great year and a lot of people were on track for it. I think it still can be. I think that it'll be a different kind of success. It might financially become very successful for the people that were willing to keep working through all of this and keep things normal, even though they're not normal. I'm very lucky. I'm in my office right now. A lot of people don't have this opportunity to come to the office because we don't have a team. The staff that we have are working from home. John and I kind of take turns coming in here and cleaning up after ourselves, and it allows us some freedom to get away from what's happening at home. We're both trying to support our significant others and be there with our kids being home full time and play the balancing act of not leaving all that to somebody else, but take responsibility for ourselves and our family, but also for our business. And at the same time, we're seeing the freedom of being able to come into the office and stay focused and treat every day as if it was the same as it was 2 months ago. So although the hours are different, the day might start a little bit earlier, it might end a little bit earlier. You might go home and work a lot longer. You and I have talked about a Saturday isn't a Saturday anymore. A Sunday is not a Sunday anymore. We have to figure out how to make Friday what it used to be so that we can take a mental break. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you see opportunity, you really have to seize it and you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, because growth doesn't come without risk and growth certainly doesn't come without effort. So I think that we're going to see a ton of great opportunities coming through this because we're just keeping our finger on the pulse of what's going on and we're just trying to support our clients. And like I said, just because a client stopped an ad campaign doesn't mean we stopped talking to them. It was, what else can we do? And in this time, how do we find a way to just communicate with each other and find opportunities to just grow together? And if that means take a step back, it means take a step back, but it doesn't mean the relationship falls apart.
I love it. I know none of us have a crystal ball right now. I just have one final question before I want to hear your legacy story or good news story. Where's the puck going, Dave? What are the things that you're on the front end of marketing, and what organizations are thinking about right now, and they're reaching out to you on a regular basis with, what about this? So where's the puck going?
Well, what I think is really amazing in all this is that all the consumers and customers who said, I don't want to shop online, I don't know how to shop online, I'm scared to buy something expensive online, they're all doing it right
Yeah.
now. They were all forced to buy something that they didn't want to buy online, and they're all shopping in a way that they didn't want to before. And
Hmm.
the whole world quickly showed that we're willing to make these purchases and we're willing to make these adjustments. And if you ask me, all the businesses who are putting in the effort to build an e-commerce website or to sell their product online or find a way to do click and collect or delivery, they're the ones who are going to win, because consumers are now comfortable shopping from home. They're comfortable with waiting a little bit longer for a purchase. Just for example, I mean, um, my fiance, she's going through an issue where she's got a phone that just broke and she needs a phone. And now she has to wait a couple of weeks to have it delivered. But, we all have old phones at home or one that's a little bit older that we're able to use, and we're able to be patient to wait a little bit longer for something that we weren't patient for before.
Huh.
So it's changing buying habits. And I think the business owners that are recognizing that these are positive changes are going to really come out of this with a win. We've
Mhm.
got a client who just simply does, hot tubs and games and leisure products. And very quickly they went, you need hot tub supplies? We'll deliver them to your house and we'll do it in the safest way we possibly can. But that's not something they ever would have done before or ever would have thought of before.
Yeah.
But now they have a window that's open to their clients that they didn't have. And that's a service that they can provide as long as they want to.
Yeah.
So there's lots of really good opportunities for people to recognize that the business world didn't stop.
Mm.
This affected a ton of businesses, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat that a lot of businesses are going to be really hurt from this, and there's a lot of businesses that might even close because of this. But in terms of what's going to happen and the businesses that are going to seize the day or see the opportunity, there's going to be a lot of really interesting impacts to the consumer world and the way that people are going to buy products and the way that people are going to interact with businesses. And it's about staying on top of how to be involved as a business owner. And those are really easy conversations to have. We just need to start having them. And the business owners that are having them now, I think, are going to be way ahead of the game.
Mhm. I agree with you. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And my final ask of you today is, do you have a good news story or legacy story that you want to share with us?
It's a tough question. Um, You know what I think the good news story is that communities are finding ways to stay together. And we saw this with Calgary Pride just today. I don't know if you follow the Pride community at all,
I did.
but Calgary Pride released that they're going to do a digital festival.
Yeah.
So although they're mindful of getting 100,000 people together for a street festival or for a parade, and unfortunately not being able to do that or move forward with those plans, they have a ton of amazing plans to keep their community connected and to keep their community growing and to produce amazing content that their community can share. And I truly believe, and we've been very fortunate that they've partnered in a few different ways with us, and that we've been able to be very connected with them and help share ideas for their growth. And we'll see where that goes. We love the idea of being able to be a stronger partner with them, and we're looking forward to that opportunity. But at the same time, they're doing some amazing work in their own community to just stay connected and to stay growing. And they're one of many amazing not-for-profit organizations that are coming out of this with great ideas and great community efforts. And it's not just us in the business and marketing community or whatever it is that's staying connected and seeing these opportunities. There's a ton of great business people and great creative minds out there that are seeing opportunity. And I thought that was a fantastic story today. And I think it's going to be continue to be a great story, because that's going to be September, and I think they're going to have a lot of really cool stories between now and then to share. And they're going to be one of the leaders when it comes down to restructuring their entire organization to stay connected to their community. And it's going to be pretty cool to see not only them and the fruit that they'll bear from that, but other organizations that take those types of opportunities to connect with a community in just a different way.
I love it. Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know the detail around that. I had heard that they were going to continue, but I didn't know. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love that story. So happy to share.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us again for Cat's Track. We look forward to the next episode with you, and I hope you're feeling as inspired as I was with Mr. Dave Taylor. Thank you again.
Thanks, Catherine.